thoughts and opinions expressed are the speaker's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of the community. The material and information presented on this podcast is for general information purposes only, and any reliance on the information provided on this podcast is done at your own risk. Hello out there, and welcome to the first episode of the Apology Accepted podcast. I am your host, Latisha Monique. Thank you all so much for listening. Big question, right? What is the Apology Accepted podcast? What is going on? Allow me to explain. The Apology Accepted podcast is truly my healing journey out loud to all women. On this podcast, we will touch on healing, traumas, communication, positive outlets, life goals, business, any and everything that has either helped me along my healing journey, hurt me along my healing journey, and or confused me through this journey of healing. Okay, because for the first time in my life, I am truly healing for real. And most people will say, well, what does that mean? Healing for real? Like, what? Well, I say that because in the past, I thought I was healing. But what I was actually doing was masking the trauma. So, me masking, I assumed I was healing, in which I really wasn't. Okay? So that is what this podcast is all about. Okay? The purpose of this podcast is simple: to help women share experiences on topics that has been stigmatized among our culture. That is it. We will definitely talk about things that are hard, hurtful. You know, all those things that when your mom or your big mom said, what goes on in this house stays in this house. Y'all heard that before? Well, yeah. Well, now I have decided to talk about these things outside of the house, so to speak. Okay? Now, it is definitely a great benefit to listening to the Apology Accepted podcast. And let me tell you why. The benefit is to connect with a tribe of women through shared experiences. We need to know that we are not alone in situations. And this is why I feel like, in my opinion, these conversations are not had because we may feel like there is no one else that either understands what I've been through or what I'm saying, or no one knows what I'm talking about. So this is a great benefit to listening and staying tuned to the Apology Accepted podcast. Real stories, real solutions, things that have helped me along this journey of me healing for real. Okay? Because all the times I've said before, you know, that New Year's resolution, New Year, new me, I'm doing this, that, and the third. I've said that every year of my life. And every year, it has always pertained to some part of me healing. And I was trying to heal in places that I was hurt. And that was hard. So how do you come out of that? How do you move forward from that? So that's what I'm going to be sharing. And someone out there will understand what I'm saying, know what I'm saying, can relate to what I'm saying. And that is what I am looking for. Just conversation in how to get through your journey of healing. One thing I realized is, and this is actually how I came up with the name Apology Accepted. I was looking for everyone who has hurt me or wronged me. I was looking for an apology from them. They don't even know I was looking for this apology, but I was secretly looking for this apology. And what I had to realize, and I just realized this in 2020, that I was seeking the validation and apologies from everyone other than myself. Once I accepted my own apology to myself for putting myself through some of the things that I put myself through, I began to look at things differently. Because how can I expect an apology from someone who's seen nothing wrong in their actions? I couldn't. But I was so hell-bent on, no, you wronged me. I deserve an apology. We all think at some point we deserve an apology when someone has wronged us. What I had to realize is that I was doing or going through these trials and tribulations and not understanding where, when I'm going to see the light. Where is the light? I don't see it. And that is when I had to take a deep dive into myself. When I looked in the mirror, I had to understand for real that where I'm trying to get to, that light, is not going to be easy. And through all of my therapy sessions with different therapists and things of that nature, I had to come to this realization of, Tisha, you got to unpack this. Because, see, I went through several therapists. And so what I was doing wrong is that I was picking and choosing what I was going to unpack versus just unpacking it all. Because it was still a part of me that was saying, hey, I don't want to be judged. So I only unpacked some stuff, but not everything. So I had to learn that I had to face some things, and I have masked stuff so well that I have made myself believe that it did not happen. And going through therapy and they getting you to unpack stuff is like, oh snap. This has been dormant for so long. It didn't really happen, but it did really happen. And now what am I going to do with it? I have to unpack it. I have to face it. So I was able to move forward. But that's when I realized me going through and starting my journey for real, May of 2020, I realized that it was other women that were in my same situation. But because we are who we are and we got to hold these titles of being strong and things like that, we are not so forthcoming to speak about what is wrong or our traumas or our healing process and how we're trying to do so, because we have to keep up with being strong and being educated, being, high up in the workforce and things of that nature. Everything that distracts us really from sitting down and understanding who we really are and how we're going to proceed in this thing called life. How we're going to proceed on our journeys that we set, our goals that we set. How are we going to do so? And sometimes we can't get to that point because so many of us, as I did before, felt like there was no one else who could possibly understand what I am dealing with, facing, been through, etc. And so that is the purpose and the benefit of Apology Accepted. I hope you guys enjoy. I have so much to share. I am finally at a place of excitement about sharing. I am finally in a place of feeling like I am blessed enough to have understood what I had to do to get to this point. And though I've been holding on to this idea for years, I've come up with so many names, so many times for a podcast. It is ridiculous, okay? I felt like I was just ready to start 2020. I'm jumping because I was so eager and excited. But even though I had all of this excitement, something still held me back. Not really sure the what, the why. But here I am now, 2022, saying, Apology Accepted. Thank you guys for listening. And until next time, be safe. Stay blessed.
So what day did you say?